Good morning. I just got the market update report for the third quarter 2024 from the Villages. This is my interpretation of the Villages marketplace. And all I'm going to say first is, to me, it's a surprise. It is a surprise. I wasn't sure what to expect after the last couple of years of the numbers coming down for sales within the Villages. And you know how many YouTube videos are out there that say, Florida's market is crashing, the housing market is crashing. Well, I got a surprise for you. If you're listening to those videos, don't listen to those videos, is my response. So let's take a quick look at the market report. Then we'll look at my spreadsheet. I know many of you like it when I talk to you in the Villages and come up and say hi. Many of you say, I really appreciate the market update. So maybe that's why I'm a little more enthusiastic about the market update, because many of you like this section. Now, it's the third quarter. It's not the end of the year, so it's not the totals. But let's just get to the market report. So here we go. Here's the market report. For those of you not familiar with it, every quarter the Villages puts out what its agents sell. This is not the MLS listing. This is what their own Villages agents sell. Now, I know the real estate market, and there's a bunch of lawsuits and changes in the regulation, but I'm not a realtor. I'm not one in it. I don't have investment properties. This is not, I just do it for fun because I want to know how my property is doing, and that I want to make sure the market collapsing in Florida is not my house. And I'm sure that's what you would want to make sure is it's not your house. So here's the market report. As we quickly go to it, they have two major sections. They sell pre-owned, so a person in the Villages selling their house can go to a Villages agent to sell it, and it's not the same as the MLS. It's only through their system. Those are pre-owned homes, ones that have been built more than a year. The provisions have in the Villages that you have to wait a year before you can sell if you purchase. Then the second section that I focus on is new homes, because I really want to know how many new homes they're building and how rapidly it's growing and what's happening to the sales price and the averages. And then they have totals. Pretty simple. The rest of the report, which let's just run through it. This is where it looks a little choppy. Lake Sumter's kind of chopped up, but we can take a look at Spanish Springs area. Everything there has been built. Very few new homes ever come up unless they do a small section, then it might appear. But I like how they did add some stuff over the last year or so. But pre-owned, how many are pending? I usually kind of ignore that, but in this video, I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to use it for a prediction. I usually look at closed and then how many year to date, which is the other 2 quarters added to the third quarter, and average sales price. What I like what they do is this little section down below that's called the pre-owned average price per series. So it kind of gives you an idea, like in Spanish Springs area, manufactured, kind of the, you know, before they built houses and it was manufactured homes or mobile homes. That's in this number. 185 is the average price. Patio villas are next in size, kind of, and lot size. 258. Courtyard villas are they're in villa sections, but they're bigger homes, and they have the fences. Cottage homes are in a category that's kind of in between patio villas and courtyard villas, usually without walls, even though in the new area they're building some cottage homes within making walls, so it's a new trend. Designer homes and verandas, and you can see there, $371,000 is the average price in that area, and premier homes are the much bigger homes, $817,000. I'm just going to run you through when we get to Sumter Landing. I can kind of see these numbers for villas of $290. The first 133 is pending. 149 is sold, average 428, year to date 439, which I found interesting that the average is pretty close, stayed pretty consistent, $10,000 in that area. And then they give the breakdown, and you can see Premier Homes are over $1 million. The patio villas are 290, and you can see the numbers in between. The next area is Brownwood. As we move down, Brownwood, you can see pretty much kind of the same breakdown. Now, how much you can get out of averages becomes a little difficult because what comes on the market? If they're all expensive homes that come on the market and they all sell, it'll bring the average up. So it's a little deceiving, but I think it works out in time. And you can see Premier Homes here run higher in the Brownwood area, 1.3 million average. I hate using that category because we're going to learn by the general averages. There's a lot more houses below the average that are sold than above. So I like the average that they use for the whole. Again, these numbers are July 1st through September 30th, except the year to date is through 3 quarters. Sawgrass area. This definitely, as they open up new areas, the report's going to continue to grow in what areas. So when we look at Sawgrass, third quarter, the average home sale of 510, they sold 116. This is kind of interesting in pre-owned because some of those areas in there just barely hitting a year. So it's an interesting, and most are new that were sold, and that area is pretty much built out. So, they closed on 112 new homes. That's got to be, the enclave or below. And so that's kind of the deceiving part because the average sale price was much higher, $453. I'll bet you the enclave rose that up a little bit, even though there was a lot in Dabney that were less expensive. Again, you can kind of see what pre-owns were going for, but now, because they sold new homes in this section, you kind of have the new homes. And you can see right here, in that quarter, they didn't sell any patio villas. They were already sold. They're only Courtyard, Designer, and Premier on the average that sold. So people looking in a certain category, I think this box is helpful. And now, Eastport area. Eastport area is everything south of the Turnpike or Warm Springs Ave south. So you got a kind of a dilemma here. Fenny has been built for a while. Some of the areas down under near Eastport, they're relatively new. Moultrie Creek, those areas are new. So when we look at these, let's take a look at pre-owned. The 73 got to be up towards the Fenny area, the up by Warm Springs, because they've gone past a year. And so those numbers are there. But look at the numbers for new homes. New homes closed 663. So this is the area that is where the new construction is going to be. I think the other areas, when you go back to areas like, I got to flip it over here. When you go back to like the Sawgrass area, that's pretty much done. All the new homes are going to suddenly be down here in the Eastport area. And let's take a quick look at the average prices. You can kind of see patio villas, $317 for pre-owned, but look at new, $242. That's about, I think back in 2021, this is my experience, you could get patio villas for about $210, $220. It's gone up a little bit over 3 years, and cottages are running about the same as they were 2 or 3 years to buy in the new. Now they tell me the bonds are higher in the new area, but I haven't checked it out. Make sure you check that out if this is just purchasing the home and the property. I'm not including the bond and all the rest. So that's where these numbers come in as part of the equation. But I do think these are good numbers. This is the report comes out. But the real special thing for me is putting it into a chart to see what's happening over from year to year. And so let's bring up my chart. So here's my chart. And I've plugged in the 2024 numbers right from the market report. I've plugged in new homes closed for pre-owned 633. 487,000 is the average price. 52 days on the market. New homes, 775 closed. $425,000 was the average price. 45 days on the market. That brings a total of 1,408 total homes sold in that quarter. Not pending, sold. I'm leaving pending alone. But pending helps me with the fourth quarter column estimates. I basically took in the fourth quarter, and I'm going to point to this, you can see on pre-owned, I'm estimating 606 homes and a half. It's just how the math works. I took the first 3 quarters and did the average and said, okay, if they just average this, what they did in the first 3 quarters, that would be the number. Because we have like 580 as a low, 765 as a high. Then I did the same for new homes closed. And that comes out to 748 is the average. So I just didn't put in a round number like I've done in the past. I did the average of the 3 quarters. That gives me fourth quarter estimate of 1,354 and a half. Well, let's look at the years. 2021 total homes, they sold 7,122, but just in brand new homes, 4,000. It dropped in 2022 to new homes to 37. So they went down 250 homes, brand new homes, but their big drop was in pre-owned. And they went down to 6,000. So it went from 7,000 to 6,000. They lost 1,000 homes. It dropped 14% for the villages in sales. Going from 22 to 23, they dropped again. They went from 6,113 to 5,601. But they lost more homes from new homes being sold. They went from 3,749 to 3,103 in 2023. And so they lost over that period of time. Now they gained a few more in the pre-owned. So they lost 512 homes, about 8%. So they did better in 2023 as far as how fast it was declining. What I want to, before I talk 24, what I want you to note, under new, just want to look at new, the average sale price. 2021 was $371,000. Keep in mind those are $1,000, not $371, $371,000. It went to $418,000, then it went to $420,000. The price, the average price for a home has not gone down. Now, there's a mixture of what they sell and whether they sell all premier homes or whether they sell designer homes or more patio villas. You just got to assume that's going to work out in the numbers as they do these. But when you go to 2023, this is the surprise. When I go 2023 to 2024, I have them at about 5 more homes total for the big number, and I have them slightly down for new homes closed. But I'm also looking at the price per that they're averaging. It's the same, 420 something is where I think it's going to end, $420,000. So in essence, my numbers, instead of the percentage of drop, I'm looking at for the total for both, they're going to gain 0.1%. It's even, it's flat. The surprise, all these videos that say the market in Florida is crashing, the insurance rates, nobody's buying, everybody's moving out. This ain't showing it. This is not showing it. I think what's happened here is one of the things that's deceiving, and I did talk about this in a previous video, with the interest rates going up and the inflation cost, I think people who either invested in homes in the villages or purchased but second guessing, a lot went back on the market. The homes are selling at the same pace as they have been the last year. Even where interest rates are, they're selling the same number of homes. So this is why the villages, when people look at the turnpike, south of the turnpike and what's being built, they're continuing to build because they're selling at the same rate. So they need to build at the same pace they've been building at. The villages understands this. People told me this, that the villages is somewhat protected from the market fluctuations, unlike anywhere else, that it's dramatic. So all that talk about price reductions, I hate these videos that say all the homes are cutting their price by 10% or 15% or 5%, whatever the number is. They're cutting it from whatever they posted. Like if I have my house on the market and I add an extra 100,000 and then I cut it by 30,000, yeah, the house got reduced, but it was not based on what homes are being sold for. And are those homes all being sold for about the same price? I think what you're going to find is the market has stayed kind of the same. It hasn't dropped. The average home prices are about the same. And so I'm making a judgment call here that this may be the bottom. This may be the bottom before prices start to go back up, as interest rates probably are going to start to come back down. It's going to bring up demand, and it probably will bring up housing prices in the next couple of years. Not saying instantly, not 2024, but 2025, we might see a change in growth and demand for the villages. This is where this is the surprise that I'm going to use this. If we go back to the market report, I'll just repeat what the market report had. You know how I ignore pending? Well, in the third quarter, where we have 775 homes, they have 787 pending. Pending means it's going to close in the next 3 months. My average of 748 is probably low. It is probably going to start to go back up. If I assume all those pending get signed contracts in the next 3 months, they've sold more houses in 2024 than they did in 2023. We'll see how my prediction comes out when I give the next market report in January. But wow, I'm surprised. Hey, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to make sure you catch my next quarterly update. Hope you enjoyed this video. I love doing it. I like it that you guys like to see it. Thanks for watching.